This is the 5-1 rotation for the setter or right back player. Okay, so our setter is starting here, and this is our starting rotation when the setter is right back in area 1. This is assuming we're serving. Now, each person needs to pay attention to their opposite. It turns out the setter's opposite is actually called opposite. Okay, it's color-coded. This is our outside hitter 1 in area 5. Next is our outside hitter 2, and that would be the opposite, okay, and that is in area 2. Our middle is opposite of, our libero is going to start here in our starting rotation. Okay, from here, we're assuming our setter is serving. Okay, now, the number one rule in rotations everyone needs to be familiar with is that before the ball is served, everyone needs to be in their starting rotation. So, setter in area 1, and you can't overlap with someone that is directly left of you, directly right of you, directly in front of you, or directly behind you. So that means the setter cannot start the game over here, to the left of the middle back, okay, because she is right back. She cannot start the game in front of right front, the outside hitter 2, but the orientation doesn't matter. If she's in front of the middle front or in front of the left front, that doesn't matter. Only the person directly in front of her. Okay, likewise, it doesn't matter if she overlaps with outside hitter 1. Okay, that being said, the setter starts here. We want our outside hitter playing middle back so that she's ready to hit a pipe. Now, deep, not up here, deep middle back, because on defense she's responsible for the whole back line. Likewise, everyone else needs to adjust. The middle blocker is at the net, looking at the hitters, calling out the hitters, calling out if it's a back row setter or a front row setter. That will determine where we want to put the ball in a free ball situation. Opposite hitter is ready to switch to right front. Outside hitter ready to switch to left front. Okay, so the setter serves the ball over the net and runs to play right back. The libero runs to play left front, left back, and the outside hitter switches to the left side. The opposite hitter switches to the right side. Okay, and this is the defensive positions that they play in for the remainder of the point. When the point is over, everyone returns to their original position. If they do not, they are considered out of rotation. Now, this is for the setter. First responsibility, you serve the ball over the net. Okay, then you run into the court to play right back defense. Your first responsibility is to play defense. So, if someone's hitting outside, you get the line ball. Someone's playing middle, well, it depends. You might need to get deep corner or shallow tip. Okay, if someone's hitting opposite, you get the angle shot. Okay, and this is your quick spot position. Okay, now, as soon as you recognize the ball's not coming to you, you run to the net to set. Right here, your right shoulder should be just inches away from the net, so you cannot move right any further. You start here, because we don't like to move backwards, so we're here so we can move forward and set any of the 3 hitters. Now, before the play, before you even serve, you signal to your hitters what they're going to hit. You call out the outside hitter that's back row, and you tell her to hit pipe. You tell the outside hitter if it's a low set, inside set, outside, but you're probably going to run a 4. Okay, the opposite hitter, tell her you're running a 5, and the middle hitter, you decide if you're running a quick set, a 1, or non-quick set, a 2. Okay, let's assume that we lose the point. Okay, we return to the starting rotation. We haven't rotated yet, and this other side is serving the ball. Now, the setter is right back and needs to be behind right front. So sometimes it will be called out of rotation if the setter leaves too early before the ball is served to go set. So you need to wait here patiently. Your job is only to run to the net, but you need to time it. As soon as she contacts the ball, you can go. but you cannot go in front of right front, you cannot go to the left of middle back, because you are right back. Okay, outside hitter, libero, and outside hitter 2 are all passing back here. Opposite has short ball. Middle back, or middle blocker can even pass right here, short ball also. Okay, from this position you call out your hitters what they're hitting, and you run to the front to set. Okay, you set the ball, you run back to right back to play defense, and continue. Now, assuming we win the point, everyone rotates clockwise 1 position. This is now rotation 2. The outside hitter went from right front to right back and is now back here serving. Okay, that makes the setter, you, the middle back position. Okay, that means at the start of the point, you're technically not allowed to be to the left of the libero, so you need to be to the right of the libero. You cannot be in front of who? Well, if you're middle back, it's middle front. Can you guess who's middle front here? Left front, middle front, right front. The opposite. Okay, so you cannot be in front of this player here. Technically, you cannot be to the right of the outside hitter, but the outside hitter is off the court, so guess what? It doesn't matter where you are in orientation to that player. So, what you can do is already start right back in your quick spot position. So the outside hitter will serve and run to middle back. Okay, at which point the opposite will run to right front. Everyone is in their defensive position. From here you play right back defense, and if the ball doesn't come to you, you go front row to set. Now, assuming we lost a point, everyone goes back to their starting position in rotation 2. So now you go back to middle back. I reset it. The thing people tend to confuse is your defensive position versus your starting position. Well, your starting position depends on where you are in the rotation. So the setter is currently starting position area 6, but defensive position is right back where she switches to. Now, assuming the other side is serving the ball, the setter is not going to pass, so we don't want her in middle back. Instead, she's going to stack up here right behind the opposite. Okay, and now the libero cannot pass this, be to the right of middle back, but you can be right here to the left of the setter, so that's okay. And the outside hitter is left front, cannot be behind the libero who is left back, so that's okay. Alright, so you can see we always want 3 back row passers, so we'll do something like this. Here we have the middle blocker. We'll pass a short ball, maybe here. Okay, and you know what? The setter just needs to be between the libero and the outside hitter, so we could even scoot over here, even closer. This point, as a setter, you're deciding what you want people to hit. The middle blocker, usually you want them to hit a 2 and the opposite to run out and hit a 5. But you could do the opposite, have a middle blocker hit a 5, opposite hit a 2. And this outside hitter will hit a 4. Okay, so they serve the ball, the opposite immediately, in this case I'm going to have her run out here, ready to hit a 5. The middle blocker runs here, ready to hit a 2. And the setter goes to the net, ready for the perfect pass. Alright, you set one of those hitters. Of course, this outside hitter after the pass comes out here, ready to hit a 4. You set the ball, and guess what? You run back to play defense because you're still back row. And keep going back and forth, set, defense, set, bad pass, set over here, defense, and non-stop running back and forth. In this rotation, you'll notice that middle blocker goes back to serve. The libero goes front row and gets replaced with the blocker, so it's kind of confusing. I'll rotate and you'll see what happens. Another defensive specialist replaced our middle blocker to serve. Another middle blocker replaced our libero to play left front. Okay, but middle blocker stays in the middle of the court. Everyone moves around them. So when the ball is served by this new defensive specialist, we'll use the setter, our left back, and we'll rotate to right back for defense. And after the libero serves, they'll go to left back, and the outside hitter goes to left front. We'll go back and talk about serve receive. This is everyone's starting position. As a setter, you are left back, so you cannot go to the right of middle back. You cannot go in front of left front. Okay, so this is the most complicated as it gets. We always want this outside hitter ready to hit outside. So really we want this outside hitter passing here. So this is where life gets kind of confusing. The middle blocker goes in this corner here because she has to stay in front of the setter. Alright, the setter wants to be as close to staying spot as possible, but you can't overlap with this outside hitter. You cannot go in front of that middle blocker. So you can go into this corner here. Not overlapping with this outside hitter, not in front of this middle blocker. Okay, and this outside hitter cannot be to the left of the middle blocker, cannot be behind this outside hitter, so she fits in here to pass very nicely. And that's just the start of the play. As soon as the ball is touched, you can move wherever you want on the court. So we have our three passers, the opposite passing short. So your job being to run to this spot. Okay, as soon as she touches the ball, you run there, and you set. The middle blocker runs hit middle, and the outside hitter gets outside the court to hit 4. Okay, still being back row, then you go back to play right back. On defense, the libero goes to left back. Next rotation, you go from left back up to left front, which means your opposite is now serving. Okay, this is now rotation 4. In rotation 4, well, if we're serving, of course, middle blocker is always at the net, assessing who the attackers are, where the setter is. Alright, the setter needs to be ready to switch to right front. In the 5-1, you are now a blocker and a setter. From here, on defense, well, the libero needs to switch to left back, outside hitter, middle back, so it starts there, ready to go. Opposite serves. As soon as the opposite serves, you run to right front to block or get tips. Outside hitter goes to left front, libero goes to left back, and opposite plays right back. Okay, so your job now as setter, you block, then you wait on the set, you set one of these two, you call the play, or you set the pipe. Okay, alternatively, if you're short or can't get over the net, you could get the short tip right here while the middle blocker blocks. Let's play defense. Technically your starting position in rotation 4 is left front. So you go back here to left front. Sorry, I need to move the outside hitter back out here. This is where life gets a little complicated. Okay, I switched everyone back. So left front, middle front, right front, left back, middle back, right back. Okay, this is rotation 4 again. Now the thing is that we want the outside hitter ready to hit outside. So in this rotation, we're going to have the opposite go all the way back here, call in or out. So this libero is going to come all the way over here and pass the ball right back. This outside hitter is going to pass the middle back, and this outside hitter is going to make sure not to go behind the opposite nor overlap with the middle back. So right here, and these circles are kind of big, they'd be smaller, so you're actually closer to the sideline than this. This is the hardest rotation for the setter, because if it's a low pass or the pass is way over here, you're not going to get there. You can't overlap with the middle front, being that you're left front. So this is the hardest rotation, and you need to run as fast as you can to the spot as soon as the server touches the ball. In which case the middle blocker hits middle, the outside hitter, if she passes or doesn't after the ball's passed, goes here to hit. In rotation 5, as a setter, you are middle front, opposite is middle back, other outside hitter is serving. Okay, well, because the outside hitter is off the court, doesn't matter if you overlap with her, just opposite, go ahead and start right back. Okay, as the outside hitter contacts the ball, the setter moves to her defensive spot to block or get tipped. Outside hitter moves to middle back, gets the deep ball, responsible for this whole back line. Okay, so you block and set here. On serve receive rotation, you are middle front. The middle blocker now can either hit a 5 or hit a 2, and you'll be in this position. Okay, so let's move back to where we were. Now typically the worst passer is not going to pass. Usually the opposite goes back and everyone else passes, including this outside hitter here. The setter sets on the serve receive. This is still rotation 5. Your front row, so you have two options. This outside hitter, well, clearly is going to hit a 4 after the pass, and this middle blocker can either hit a 5 or 1 and a 2 in the middle, so you decide. It might be good to have them run a 5 and then you can dump the ball in the middle or something like that. Alright, let's go on to rotation 6. Okay, in which case you are now right front. In rotation 6, middle blocker goes back to serve. Well, I'll put in another defensive specialist to serve. Okay, middle blocker subs in for the libero to block middle. So go to the middle of the court. Everyone will move around you. This outside hitter, as soon as the ball is served, will go out here. Guess what, setter? This is your one easy rotation where you just stay here and block. You don't need to worry about moving. As that happens, well, the opposite goes to play right back. Libero goes to play left back, and you just need to block and set. On serve receive, when the side's serving, everyone goes back. Starting positions, once again, easy for you as a setter. You start right here, ready for the ball to be passed. The one option, opposite call in or out. The outside hitter goes here, ready to pass. The middle blocker needs to be up here because their opposite is right back, so they're left front, and they have to be to the left of this outside hitter. The ball is served, someone passes it. As soon as the ball is touched, the middle blocker goes to hit middle, outside hitter goes over here. You hit the ball over the net, and then the opposite switches to right back. The libero switches to left back, and we're through all 6 rotations.